Here's your news rush for July 17, 2026. 9 stories. Let's go. 6 nights, and the strikes keep coming. American jets, drones, and warships hit dozens of Iranian military targets overnight, including coastal defenses on Qeshm Island and near Bandar Abbas, right on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran answered with missiles and drones aimed at U.S. bases in neighboring states. The campaign follows the reimposed blockade on Iranian ports, and each night moves this conflict closer to the point of no return. Iran is preparing to squeeze the world's oil supply from a second direction. Tehran has asked Yemen's Houthi movement to prepare to close the Bab al-Mandab Strait, the gateway to the Red Sea, if the U.S. strikes Iran's power infrastructure. The Houthis have already moved missiles and drones toward the coast. With Hormuz shut, the Red Sea carries roughly 7% of global energy, and Saudi Arabia just shifted most of its exports there. 2 choke points, 1 match away. The oil industry is redrawing the map around the war. Chevron is expected to sign agreements with Iraq covering 2 giant oil fields, West Qurna, 2 and Nasiriyah, alongside a pipeline project that would bypass the Strait of Hormuz entirely and carry crude to the Mediterranean. Iraq needs it badly. Its production has been cut by more than half since the strait closed. President Trump promises more massive oil partnerships within days. A primetime address, and a new fight over the ballot box. President Trump told the nation that American election systems remain vulnerable, releasing declassified documents he says will build confidence in election security. The files describe long-known vulnerabilities, but show no evidence that vote counts were actually changed. China denied the claims aimed at it, and Democratic governors accused the president of undermining faith in the vote, less than 4 months before the midterms. The World Cup final is under a cloud, in every sense. An air quality alert now covers Sunday's showdown, with Canadian wildfire smoke drifting over MetLife's open-air stadium, where more than 80,000 fans will watch Argentina face Spain. And off the pitch, Argentina faces FIFA discipline for a banner reading "The Falklands are Argentine," unfurled after beating England. President Milei says he expects a fine. Smoke above, a probe below, and a title on the line. Political shockwaves in wartime Ukraine. President Zelensky has removed Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, the architect of Ukraine's drone program, after just 6 months in the job. Fedorov pointed to disputes with the armed forces chief, Oleksandr Swarsky. The response was immediate: protests in Kiev, Lviv, and Odessa from Ukrainians who fear the shakeup weakens the war effort at the worst possible moment. Yevhen Kmara takes over pending parliament's approval. One of the deadliest months at sea in years, and barely a headline. More than 500 people are feared dead in 2 shipwrecks off Myanmar since late June, according to the UN's refugee and migration agencies. One vessel carrying about 250 people simply lost contact. Another, with 280 aboard, sank off the Irrawaddy coast. The passengers were mainly Rohingya refugees fleeing conflict and camps. It would bring this year's toll in the region toward 800. A state media post has set off a diplomatic firestorm in Asia. China Daily, run by Beijing, published an AI-generated video depicting a monkey in Filipino national dress, acting on American and Japanese orders, a mockery of the ruling that rejected China's South China Sea claims. Manila demanded the video's immediate removal, with the defense secretary calling it contemptible propaganda. And the timing could hardly be worse. China's foreign minister lands in Manila within days. Japan has settled one of the monarchy's biggest questions, by refusing to change. Parliament approved a revised imperial house law that keeps the throne male-only, solving the succession shortage by allowing the adoption of males from former imperial branch families instead. Princess Aiko, the emperor's popular daughter, remains ineligible, despite polls showing most Japanese support a female emperor. The line now runs through the emperor's brother, then 19-year-old Prince Hisahito. That's your news rush for today. Subscribe so you never miss a day.